Hey everybody. It has been far too long since my last video update, and I haven't actually sent one from the States, so I figured it was about time. I think this is week 4 now. So yeah, as you can see probably throughout the video, my hair is going to be going. I'm sitting underneath the fan in the house and loving it because the weather outside, I knew it was going to come, but got 95-degree weather, and if you're not from a Fahrenheit country, 35 degrees Celsius, and I am praising God for air conditioning and ceiling fans. And I'm realizing it's the little things. So yeah, that's been great just to come back and enjoy sunshine and even one of the first nights I was driving, I remember crazy thunderstorms hit Memphis, and they really don't have anything like that in London. So it was just interesting to be back. I can't remember if most of you know, but it's been about 2 years since I've been stateside. So just taking advantage of all the little things. As you saw, I posted a lot of pictures about food the first couple of days and just really enjoying the things that I've missed. Ranch dressing is amazing. And Mexican food. I think I've eaten Mexican food at least twice a week. So yeah, getting that quota, and Chick-fil-A. And yeah, just catching up with a lot of different people and being able to share what God's doing in London, but really just enjoy and take advantage of this rest. So I sent my visa off. I think that first week I was here, I think it was probably the 25th, 26th. So it's been in processing. I got an email saying that it's in process and should be done in about 15 days. So hopefully within the next week or two, definitely I'll hear on that. So just keep that in your prayers, and remember that with finances for the visa, I'm still about 700 pounds, about 1,000 US dollars short on the visa. I've had people helping support as I'm here, needing gas money and food for meetings and different things going out. So finances is always a real reality, but God has been so faithful. One of the cool things I was able to go and share at my mom's job, she works in an office kind of cubicle working with medical records and stuff, and just a lot of the women that she's apparently sharing with and talking about her daughter, and it was so cool to meet so many of them. And the next time I came back to the office and had lunch with them, they had a card with $150 for me. And it was just these kind of things that God is just showing up in different exciting ways. I don't think I even posted anything about it. Actually, on the day I flew home, I had a layover in Philadelphia. So I came from London to Philadelphia and had like a 2-hour layover. That's where I got some food there, and then was coming into the flight to Memphis, and I saw a woman, and she kind of looked familiar, but I wasn't positive. And she looked at me at the same time, and we kind of like, do we know each other? And I feel like I've met you before. Turns out we hadn't, but I said, "Oh, are you flying back to Memphis?" And she said, "Yes." I said, "Oh, I'm from Memphis. Where are you from?" And she said a street name that was close to my church out in Collierville. And I said, "Oh, I know where that is. That's near my church. I go to Central Church in Collierville." And turns out that was her home church. She's been there for years, and she knew the pastor, and she had heard my name as well, as they've talked about missionaries in London and in Europe. So it was just this kind of crazy thing, and we ended up being on the same row in the flight, and there were only 4 seats in the row because it was a smaller flight. And the other 2, we were on the outsides for the windows, and the 2 on the aisle were a couple, a husband and a wife. So they actually switched places with us, and I was able to sit by this woman. Her name was Martha, and her name was not Martha. Her name was Barbara. Sorry. Her name was Barbara. And I was able to sit by her, and we talked for the entire 2.5-hour flight just about God's goodness and His grace and coincidence, and how there's not really coincidence, that God is in everything. So it was super exciting. So it's just really cool to see God move in a lot of the details. And then just really being able to enjoy a lot of time with my family. I've been home a lot of the nights, and being able to hang out with my adorable nephews. Hudson, he's 2.5, and Hayden is about 5 months old. So being able to hang out with them, and with my future sister-in-law, Jordan, and mom and dad and Jeremiah, and just kind of catching up on things that are really difficult to do over Skype, and just taking those moments, whether it's a dinner at home or whether it's cleaning the house, or we opened the pool this last week. So we had a fun day just in the pool hanging out. grilling hamburgers and just taking those moments. And yeah, that's been really exciting just to kind of update you. I'm sure you saw the post as well. I was able to go with the church I grew up at, Ellendale Baptist, which God led us back to as a team 2 years ago. And then I've really felt it's also my home church as much as Central is. My roots are there. My family is still there. And I was able to go on the youth trip with them to Panama City in Florida this year and had a great time just getting to know kind of Twilight Zone in some ways. I left the church back in 2005 and I had grown up babysitting and taking care. So a lot of the kids that are now in the youth, I watched when they were 2 or 3 and I haven't seen them in years. And so it was just kind of shocking and also just amazing to see God's faithfulness and see these kids grow into young adults and see what God's going to do with them, be able to pray for some of them and I was helping lead a family group and just be able to share with the next generation. It's just amazing to see the youth I'm able to pour into in London, but then also to just step off a plane and have a place to serve here in Memphis and the honor and the privilege that it is to be trusted to serve. So we had a blast. We had so much fun just chilling at the beach, and the theme was the pause. And so it was really about knowing who God is and taking the chance to know Him in this busy world with media and responsibilities and school and clubs. And it was so relevant and so kind of real and raw, just being able to be real with the need for a pause in our life and the need for God to be in the midst of our life. And then the kind of end of the week was about hitting play and going back into the real world and impacting those around us with what we find in the pause and knowing God and then impacting. And so it was super cool, just a blessing. And then I've been working with the youth. We just got back actually on Wednesday nights. So it's just so much fun to be able to get to know them in a week and then kind of carry that through for these next 2 months and just build a relationship with them in the time that God has. It's been cool on another thing, to see people and kind of the question come up, oh, so are you back home now? Are you here? And this is really just a different feel because, the first time I came back after being in London, I was home for a year after my training school. And God was just confirming some things kind of emotionally and eternally, things in me of what it was to be called to full-time mission. And so after a year, I came back in March 2011 to staff, and I was gone for that 2 years. And then the last time I was home, I brought a team of 7 people with me, and we did outreach for the first 2 months and just poured into the city and hung out with university students and did all kinds of crazy stuff. And then the team left me, and I stayed for 4 months. And so a total of 6 months was spent in the States. And if you remember kind of the journey this time, I really wanted to come for 6 months this time. I think my heart really wanted to be here longer. My best friend is getting married in September. My brother's getting married in November, Thanksgiving, Christmas. And I thought, okay, I'll come again for 6 months. And God just said no. It was very clearly like, are you going to commit to the future I have for you in London? And are you going to go deeper with that? Because, I've committed, but sometimes the remnants and the things that come up as you go into deeper levels, that was something God was speaking a lot. And to see coming back and deciding for 2 months and 8 weeks and knowing that that is enough, knowing that that's what He has and that's the time and He's going to do what He wants to do has been a different thing. I think it was a more intense culture shock at the beginning, a more intense kind of knowing where my place is and recognizing where it isn't and being able to trust Him more and relax more and kind of all these things that are kind of working through in the midst of the rest. So some days I'm laying around and I'm not doing much, and some days I'm cleaning, and some days I'm running around meeting with people and just learning that that's okay. I'm just trying to be with Him. So I think it's a pretty good picture of where I've been for the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Just a couple of things to keep in prayer. I know this video is going a little long, but hopefully you are watching it, taking the time to watch it. Tomorrow I'm actually going to be sharing at Mom's office again with a bigger group of people and just having a chance to share with whoever wants to hear. So pray for that. Every Sunday, basically, I'm sharing in Sunday school groups or with people. So if you think about me on a Sunday, just say a prayer that people would be open and willing to partner and willing to share what is and to hear what's going on in the UK and in Europe in general with our team and with YWAM. What else? Next week, I'm actually going to be teaching through Skype the DTS in London, so that's really cool. I'm going to be teaching on rebellion. I found that out this week. So praying as I'm prepping that teaching because I've never taught on that. So God is good and He likes to stretch us. So we'll figure out what that topic looks like. And yeah, just remembering I mentioned my aunt Jackie last time on one of the videos. So the kind of final week in July, actually, I'm going to be heading to Texas after we do a family reunion in Oklahoma. And it's just to see God's grace in that. Out of 8 weeks, I haven't been home to Texas, where most of my family lives, in 6 years almost, I think. And one of my cousins covered a ticket for me, and it's set that I'm going to spend a week there and just really get to see and connect and share. And I'm super excited. He's great. So taking all the opportunities and just looking for Him and seeing and knowing that the time is going to fly by. I'll definitely keep you updated on things to come in London. But at the moment, this was just kind of a focus on what God's doing stateside. So I love you guys so much. Remember to subscribe if you're not subscribed so you can get the new videos every time they come out. Love you so much. Don't forget, if you want to ask questions, if you're wanting a specific thing, I would love to do a focus video on a question that somebody has outside of kind of normal updates. So feel free to message, feel free to get in touch. Remember, financially, that's part of what I'm doing. So if you feel led to give, just please get in touch. I love you guys. Have a great night.